Hey guys, it's Jason. I'm here to post another video for you guys. This time I'm going to be posting a video on how you can get unlimited calling through your Android phone and using T-Mobile MyFavs. Before you get started, you need to make sure that you'll have a Google Voice account, that you're using an Android device like the Nexus One, the G1, the MyTouch. There's a slew of them. As long as it's an Android phone, you'll need to make sure you have Google Voice installed on your phone, and you'll need to make sure that you have T-Mobile MyFavs still. The plan has been grandfathered, so it is hard to get a hold of. It's almost impossible, I think, unless you call T-Mobile directly to get a hold of. But for you that have it still, it's still a really good way to take advantage and get free calling from Google Voice. There's a couple downsides to that. The first one is that if you decide to go this way, it's a great way to get unlimited calling without having to change your plan and without, making any changes. The only thing is it will use your Google Voice as your caller ID, but if you want, you can just have people call you from that number always. And that'll be the number that they can call into and call out from. And you can also use the SMS client that Google Voice has provided. It's not the best client in the world, so you kind of have to give and take. You can still use your old number and just send regular text messages through the regular application on the Nexus One or any Android device, or you can use the Google Voice one. But it's kind of your choice. But this is a great way to get out of having to pay for some overage fees. I've tested it on my dad's phone. I haven't done it myself, but the theory works, so it's been working in motion. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I have my Nexus One right in front of me. So what we're first going to do is you're going to make sure that you have the Google Voice application downloaded, and you'll go ahead and just open that application. And when you first open it, it's going to say welcome to Google Voice, and this is pretty much just going to be the setup process to get that going. So what you're going to do is just go next. It's automatically going to detect your Gmail account. You'll go ahead and click sign in, and it's going to go, and you're going to see the sign in progress here at the bottom. Now there's a couple things that you're going to need to realize that are going to be different if you don't use the Nexus One. Is on the Nexus One, it automatically allows you to set your Google Voice account up as your voicemail. We'll get there in a second. But right now, this is what you're going to change. On Google Voice, you have the option of switching between using Google Voice to make all calls. You do not even using Google Voice, using it for international calls or asking you every time. To make this really simple, when you need to have the unlimited calling, you're just going to want to go ahead and select use Google Voice to make all calls. You'll click next, and then this is the part that I was talking about that differs. It's going to say set up voicemail. This option is not going to be available on any phone other than the Nexus One or the Desire, which I don't think anyone really has a hand on. So anything that's running 2.1, Google Voice will request this from you. So for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and set up my voicemail. What it'll do is it'll ask me whose voicemail I want to use, whether I want to use my carriers or Google Voice. I'll click Google Voice, and pretty much that takes care of that on your Android device. Okay, now that we have your device set up, we're just going to make a quick test call that's going to give you your Google Voice access number. This number is going to be a local number, and it's going to appear atop here at the top of your screen. It's going to say calling via Google Voice. So I'm just going to give you a quick little demo. And you'll see right here, and across the top, it's going to have your Google Voice access number. So you're going to want to make sure that you write that down, and because you're going to be using it a little later in the video. Okay, so now that we've configured your device, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into Google Voice, and we're going to go ahead and make some changes in here. Now in Google Voice, what we're going to do is you're going to log into your account. If you don't have a Google Voice account, you can be invited, but you'll have to ask someone that does have one for an invitation. I only have one left myself because I've invited a lot of people. But you're going to go in, so sign into your account, go into settings, go into calls, and in here what we're going to do is we're just going to enable a couple different settings. Now these settings can be changed and set to your preference. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to always enable screen calling. So when I don't know who's calling, they're going to have to give me their name. and then call presentation turned on, the same difference. What a Google Voice will say, hey, this person is giving you a call. Do you want to accept their call, yes or no? And then caller ID in. Now, my personal preference is I like to have it show that it's my Google Voice number calling me, but for example, like my dad who's just using his Google Voice account solely for his minutes, you can have it say display caller's number. And then you won't change anything on the caller ID out, and there you go, you've got your Google Voice account set up. So I'm right here, and I've kind of already set this up, but I can show you anyway how to do it. Right here, as you can see, it says Google VI, and I've named that for my Google Voice in number. Now this is my personal Google Voice number that's listed right over here. So that's going to be one of the numbers. And then the second one is going to be your Google Voice out number, which I've already labeled over here. See Google VO. Now when I click on it, this is the access number for my area. So I'm going to go ahead and set the two of those to my MyFavs, and what it'll essentially do is it'll create this loop, and you'll be able to make unlimited free calling as long as Google Voice is enabled on your Android phone. So there's a quick little tip on how to get some free minutes and avoid some overages.